When you think about U.S. energy, I mean, really think about the sheer scale. You have to land on the Permian Basin. It's just
Oh,
vast.
absolutely. Over 86,000 square miles across West Texas, New Mexico, uh, pumping out millions of barrels of oil every single day. It's enormous.
So for this deep dive, we wanted to, trace that powerhouse right back to its geological roots.
Exactly. From this simple basin, 400 million years ago
Yeah.
to, well, the complex structure it is today. It's quite a story linking this ancient sea to, well, the fuel we use now.
And the name itself, Permian, tells part of the story, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it holds some of the world's thickest layers of rock from that specific geologic period, the Permian, which was the final period of the Paleozoic era.
Okay, let's rewind then. Before the Permian Basin as we know it, there was something else there.
Right. There was an ancestral structure called the Tobosa Basin. Think of it as a much older, simpler feature, basically a passive margin.
Passive margin.
Like a stable coastline. Pretty much. Yeah, from the late Precambrian all the way to the Mississippian period, just quietly collecting layers of sediment, limestone, sand, that sort of thing.
But geology rarely stays quiet for long. Something must have happened.
Exactly. Stability doesn't last. Two monumental tectonic events really shook things up. First, the Ouachita orogeny in the late Mississippian,
Okay.
and then right after, the Hercynian collision in the early Pennsylvanian. You have to imagine continents colliding, basically. North America meeting other plate.
Wow. So like massive underground mountain building.
That's a good way to put it. Huge faulting.
Yeah.
It completely changed the landscape beneath the surface.
And this violence, it broke apart the old Tobosa Basin.
Shattered it, really. It created the complex geometry we needed for what came later. The single basin fractured into three main parts.
Okay, what are they?
You've got the Delaware Basin, the Midland Basin, that's the biggest one, and then, crucially, separating them, this uplifted block called the Central Basin Platform.
Uplifted. So like a ridge between two valleys.
Sort of, yeah. A tectonically lifted block. And that uplift was key because it created the initial geological trap. The structure needed to eventually hold oil and gas.
Ah, okay. So the collision created the container, but that's not the oil itself. Where did that come from?
Right. The container was step one. Step two was the Permian period itself. That's when the magic really happened, especially during the Guadalupian epoch. We're talking roughly 272 to 259 million years ago.
And what was happening then?
This was the golden age of reef building. You've probably heard of the Capitan Reef.
Yeah, the famous one.
That's a prime example from this time. The whole area, the Permian Basin, was sitting near the equator back then, maybe 5-10 degrees latitude.
So tropical conditions.
Exactly. Warm, shallow, clear water, perfect for reefs. And there was this constant supply of nutrients.
Where did the nutrients come from?
From something called the Hovey Channel. It was like a sea lane connecting the basin to the wider ocean, constantly bringing in nutrient-rich water through upwelling. That fed the reef builders, mostly sponges and algae, actually.
So a thriving ecosystem. But reefs die. What happened here?
Well, the environment turned toxic, tectonic strike again, the supercontinent Pangaea started breaking up, and this shifted things around. The Hovey Channel, that lifeline, got restricted.
Restricted how? Like it got narrower.
Yeah, and eventually it seems it got pretty much cut off. Water exchange stopped.
Yeah.
And inside the basin, salinity skyrocketed.
Oh, so the water became too salty for the reef life.
Way too salty.
Yeah.
Basically poisoned the entire system.
Yeah.
Killed the reef, and we have incredible evidence for this.
Yeah.
Dramatic change.
What's the evidence?
It's a rock formation called the Castile Formation. It's about 4,300 feet thick. Think about that.
Yeah.
And it's almost entirely made of alternating layers of evaporite.
Evaporates like salt.
Exactly. Gypsum and hydrate, those are types of salt layered with thin bits of limestone. It shows this period where the basin just evaporated intensely, leaving behind thick salt deposits.
Wow. So that massive salt layer, 4,300 feet thick, formed because the connection to the ocean was cut off and the water got too salty.
Right.
And that salt layer then acted as the perfect seal, trapping everything underneath.
Precisely. It's the cap rock. It sealed in all the organic material from the dead reef in earlier periods, allowing it to cook into oil and gas over millions of years, held in place by the structures created by those earlier collisions. It's a remarkable sequence of events.
So you have the structure from the collision, the source rock from the reefs and sediments, and the seal from the salinity crisis.
You got it. Now fast forward quite a bit to the 20th century. People started suspecting there might be oil deep down. A UT geologist, J.A. Udden, speculated back in 1917.
But it took a while to prove.
It did. The first commercial well was in 1921. But deep drilling was expensive, difficult. The real game changer was 1928. They drilled down to 8,520 feet and hit oil in much older Ordovician-age rocks.
Way below the Permian stuff.
Way below. That discovery proved the sheer vertical scale of potential resources and kicked off much wider exploration.
Production eventually peaked, though, right? I think I remember hearing about that in the 70s.
It did, yeah. Conventional production peaked around then. But then came the modern boom. New technology completely revitalized the basin.
Horizontal drilling and fracking.
Exactly. Horizontal drilling lets you follow these thin layers of shale, and hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, breaks open the rock to release the oil and gas trapped inside tight formations, like the Wolfcamp Shale. Huge resource.
And that's led to the massive production numbers we see today.
It has, but it also brings up current challenges. One big issue is natural gas. It comes up with the oil, but it's often less valuable.
Right.
And the boom happened so fast that pipeline construction couldn't keep up. There wasn't always a way to get the gas to market.
So what happens to it?
Well, legally, under state rules, if there's no pipeline capacity, producers are allowed to flare, just burn it off or vent it directly into the atmosphere. And methane, the main component of natural gas, is a potent greenhouse gas. So that's become a major environmental concern tied to this modern production surge.
A complex picture linking ancient geology to modern energy and environmental questions.
It really is.
This deep dive was sponsored by embersilk.com. Embersilk is the answer for all your AI education and integration needs.
So when you pull it all together, this 400 million year journey, you had tectonic collisions creating the container, this vast reef system living and dying, providing the source material, and then a kind of climate crisis event creating the perfect salt seal.
Yeah.
That's just amazing that all these things had to happen in just the right way.
Yeah, and the result is that this long-dead, sea-level restricted Permian Reef, buried miles underground, is fundamentally the foundation of today's biggest source of oil in the U.S. It's quite a thought.
It really connects the deep past to our present energy landscape.
Absolutely fascinating. If you found this journey through geologic time as interesting as we did, please do subscribe to the deep dive and maybe leave us a 5-star review. It genuinely helps other people find the show. Thanks for joining us.